Hello. Have I got the microphone turned on? Yes, I have. Hello, 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 hello. Are you well? Are you well? That's my main concern. That is my main concern. How you doing, people? It is glorious to be back here again, streamaging via the internet. I've just noticed that my head tracking has honestly got its knickers in a twist. Right, there we go. That's a bit better. Okay. All right, people. How are you? Welcome to the second of our YouTubes, our YouTube streams. I'm quite happy to be sat over here on YouTube. I have to say, you can hear me. Excellent. Science Keep as well. Hello, buddy. How are you? Phil Barnes. Hello, mate. How are you? I'll do some hellos first, shall I? Let's get that out of the way. Barry Fish Finger. there's a classic British staple for you. Barry Fishfinger, Airlock Doc, Simon Beck, Slam Dunk. Can't remember if I did that on the morning though that already. Yugashura, Commander Platers here. Oh, Alec Turner's here. 57 Thorns is here. Eagle 131 is here. Hello, people. How are you? God, so many names. All right, all right, all right. Kane Kennedy's here. I happen to know Kane Kennedy is Scottish. All right, Kane, how did I do? Is that close? Is that even close? It's not, is it? Ulon, how are you, mate? How are you? How are you? Tim Shortman, hello, buddy. How are you? Carl, Jack Nicholson, big fan. Bob. Everyone's a fan of Bob. Hello, everybody. How are you? Oh, my head tracking's way off. Hang on. There we go. Right, I'll turn that off for the moment. All right. I've got no idea what we're doing today. I literally have no. I've got one or two ideas. So I've been doing a little bit of kind of last minute. A sort of. I woke up this morning with a bee in my bonnet about engineering. Me and engineering have a fractious relationship. I'm going to say it's quite. I find it quite challenging. The engineering bit itself isn't too hard. It's the Yago. Poor Yago has heard me go on about this so many times. Hello, Chlorine. You're right. Has heard me go on about this so many times. I find the gathering of materials. Oh, it makes me want to put my face through the desk. So I build up materials very, very slowly. What I want to be able to do is go, where did I put my drink? I know I got a drink. I definitely got a drink. I might have to do a be right back and go and get my drink because I've got a feeling I've left it behind the green screen somewhere. None of this is real, by the way. It's all a facade. I can't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah. So right, I have a terrible relationship with engineering. I'm terrible at gathering materials. I want to be able to just farm loads of materials and get them all in, and then do a ship build like that. But I just I can't. It drives me mad. So I tend to build up materials really, really slowly, and then I do a bit of engineering, and then I think I can't stand it anymore. And then I think I'll come back to it next week, and then 6 months later, I still haven't come back to it. Well, it's now 6 months later, and I came back to it a little bit. So I'm sitting in the Wobbly Rocket at the moment, which is my sort of main combat vessel. And I think I'm kind of at the end of the engineering cycle, if I'm brutally honest. I've literally just done the last bit on the shields. And a bit on the sensors today, and that's pretty much. I think that's pretty much everything done. So I thought I might give it a quick run around the block, a quick bit of violence, and see how it gets on. And then there was a little bit of sightseeing that I thought I might do, because you know how Frontier have said that everything that's in Galnet is going to be in game now. Well, there's an evacuation happening, a sort of a refugee kind of thing happening at the moment. And I believe there's a ton of megaships arriving in certain Federation systems full of Imperial Marlinists, which sound like small rodents, but they're not. They're political affiliates, I want to say. So yeah, political refugees from the Imperial sections. If you've not been keeping up with your Galnet news, so I thought we might go and have a look at those maybe and see if we can find some. I believe they're there. I've been told. I have a reliable source that's told me they're there. So I thought we might go and do some of that. How is your week going anyway? How's your week going? Has it been good? As far as 2020 can go, really. Has it been acceptable? Let me know if you can hear the game as well, because I think I've got the volume down really, really low. If I do that, that should make it a little more audible. Are you okay, people? Bell Wolvie, how you doing, mate? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're going to go. I'm at the last place that I was buying materials and doing my last bits of engineering, so I need to kind of head to, let's call it Burr space. And I know we've got a war going on somewhere because I was there yesterday with Yagashura, and can I remember where it was? No, I can't. I think it was probably there. I'm going to say it was there. And if there isn't a war there, Yagashura, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. So if you could arrange one between now and the next 5 jumps, that would be great. Just go and start on someone. That'll be awesome. Phil Barnes, slow week. But I'll tell you what, mate, our week has been professionally and privately quite challenging. But everybody's in a good place now. This light here is really bright and it's annoying me. I might have to do something about that. Hang on a second. Where's the control for that? Is that one?
4, 3, 2,
is that okay? You've still got spaceship behind me, haven't you? That's good. Game's a bit juddery on this end. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, the last couple of weeks actually have been quite... Yeah, Placid's a good point, Placid, actually. As far as 2020 goes, you know, it could have been a lot worse, quite frankly. I'm not really sure why my game's so juddery at the moment. That's a bit upsetting. I had those of you who follow me on Twitter will know that I had I unboxed the Cherry Bakewell fairly recently. That had extra icing on it. So this year hasn't been all bad. So I'm taking that one. It really was lovely as well. It was quite delightful. I should have saved it. There's no way it was going to last until the stream starts, let's be honest. It's a Cherry Bakewell and it's out of the box. Its time is limited. But I should have saved it really for the stream, because then you all could have enjoyed it as much as I did. Not really as much as I did. I would have got the best of it, to be honest. But what are you doing in game at the moment? Have you seen there's a new... hey, Jack, how are you, mate? There's a new Zibadians here as well. Hello, buddy. Redneck, thank you very much for the sub, my friend. Welcome to the Burpit streams. Oh, I bought a game on Steam yesterday as well. I bought Sniper Elite 4, which is one I've been staring at for ages. I've got Sniper Elite 2, and I really enjoyed it. And then the Burpit happened, and I wanted to get to 3, and I never got to it. And I've basically been playing Elite for several years ever since. And every time it comes up on sale, I think, oh, I'll get it, and I never did. And I finally succumbed yesterday. It might still be on sale. It was on Steam for about £6, I think. Sniper Elite 4. It's the one with bullet time cameras, where if you get a decent shot, you actually, it's rather sick to be brutally honest, but you see the bullet actually enter them, mess around with their internal organs, and then exit, all in glorious slow motion. It's well known for its nut shots, for want of a better expression, unfortunately. But yeah. Fallout 76. What one is Fallout 76, Phil? Is that the the MMO one? I lost track of the Fallouts now. You'll probably be horrified to learn that I've never played a Fallout game either. I don't really like that style of RPG. I know that's heretical, and I know I'm wrong. It's fine. I came to terms with it a long time ago. I've done okay, have I, Russ? It's a good game, is it? Thank you very much for the sub, Simon. Hello, mate. It's okay, is it, Russ? I'm not going to be bitterly disappointed. Because I looked at, after I... Slam Dunk, thank you very much, mate. After I looked at reviews after I'd purchased it, as you do. You know, that's the logical order, isn't it? And most of the professional reviews said it was okay. And there's one guy in particular that I follow on YouTube, Placid, thank you, buddy. There's one guy on YouTube I follow in particular who does reviews, but I mostly follow... His reviews are very good, and they're very, they're quite raw. But I basically follow his reviews because they're funny. Scorpion, thank you, buddy. I follow his reviews essentially because they're quite funny. But not always, I would suggest. Perhaps they kind of miss the point sometimes, but that's okay. You know, his reviews are so funny. It's what's his name? Worth a buy. If you've not seen his reviews, a little bit sweary on occasions, but very, very funny. I find him hilarious. So I looked at his review of Sniper Elite 4, and he didn't like it, honestly. He thought it was terrible. But all the things he was listing that were terrible, I thought that actually sounds really good. So I might be all right. You know, sometimes you kind of want a game to be what it is. Sometimes you don't necessarily want the AI to be particularly clever. You don't want it to be awfully challenging. Usually after you've been playing too much Elite, perhaps I would suggest. You kind of just want something that's, you know, dumb as a fence post and a A little bit killy. Mac, blood clot, there you go. Isn't he funny? I wish I'd thought of the bell thing. That just honestly makes me laugh. Maps are a good size, but only paid a cheap price. Yeah, I think that's honestly, I mean, unless you're desperate for a game on PC these days, I think that's kind of the way to go, isn't it? You just kind of wait until it's on Steam for like 10 quid or something, and then, right, have we got any war zones here, or have I come to completely the wrong place? No, we've got extraction sites though, so I might give that that might be interesting. Just give that a go first of all, and then see where we're at. Where's my wars at the moment, Jagger? Eagle, can you have a look and tell me where my wars are at the moment? Thaumaturgist, oh man, I'm so sorry. Thaumaturgist Guard. You're currently driving a fleet carrier around the galaxy, or is that a different Thaumaturgist? And I know I butchered your name, and I'm sorry. Thaumaturgist. Thaumaturgist. Oh, get off. I'm going to call you Matt, okay? Is that right? Fallout 1 and 2 back in the day, says Phil. Yeah, I've heard Bethesda games are very buggy. I can't speak from experience. Jagger's saying there's only one Fallout 2. Okay, I thought that was you. You're not far. Are you? Last I heard, I got a PM during the week to say that you were close to Beagle Point again, because you've kind of gone. You've either gone that way round or that way round, haven't you? You're kind of back at Matt. Thanks, mate. Sorry about that. You're kind of loop of shame. You're kind of back at Beagle Point again, aren't you? In your carrier. So is it that are you driving the first carrier ever to go all the way around the outside of the galaxy? Is that right? As far as we're aware, you're the only one who's ever done it, or are there? Did someone pave the way for you? Bounty hunting in Protectorate systems, according to the General. Thank you, Eagle. Then we have arrived at the correct spot. If this goes like it did during the week, I did a little bit of this during the week for some filming that Reenie was after. If this goes like it did during the week, we will be hilariously overpowered. But we'll give it a go and see what happens. I also noticed I've got an SLF pilot in this ship, and I also noticed, not because she's suddenly becoming extraordinarily skilled, but I also noticed that she's finally ranked as elite, which is extraordinary because I see her missing quite often. So that was money well spent. This might be... Oh no. Oh my. Come on. Oh, it's on the wrong side. There we go. Okay, we're good. Okay, let's see where we are at. I do think we're going to be hilariously overpowered for this, I think, I have to say. So it's October, people. And the reason I mention that is that Frontier have kind of, I'm not going to say promised, but they kind of hinted that we were liable to get some sort of event, possibly Halloween based, this month. Now obviously we've got community goals. That was my phone if you heard that, sorry about that. We've obviously got community goals ongoing at the moment, but there is only about a week or so left of October, so whatever the event is either going to be one day or extremely short, I would suggest. Nothing wrong with that, I'm just making a note that that's a thing. I wonder what they're going to do. I'm fascinated to know. I was tempted as well today, we might still do it actually, I'm tempted today to go out to one of the creepier megaships, if it's not too far. Would you like that? Would you like me to go to a creepy megaship? I don't do well with scary things, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not great with scary. I didn't bring my pilot with me. Okay, so not only is she overpaid and not very good at her job, but she's not here. So that's not great, is it? That really wasn't money well spent at all. I do well, I suppose it'll be a better test of the ship though, won't it really? Okay, let's see what happens. And he's done the chaff thing. That hardly seems fair. So the thing we're really looking at here, okay, is the shields. That's where I'm I'm particularly fascinated
Scan detected.
to see how
Target
well they
shields
do
offline.
without me pouring lots and lots of juice into them. That's what I really want to see. So they're prismatics, and they should now be engineered to the conkers. Quite manoeuvry, aren't you, son? Would you mind coming back here? It says that I'm flying the ship the size of Kent, so it's not all about you if you can get past yourself.
Scan detected.
Yeah, I mean, I've only got one Pippin shields and it's not really even taken a poke at all, is it?
Target shields
do a bit of that.
online.
Not for long.
Under attack.
Yeah, whatever. So would you like to go out to a, should we go and do a scary, I don't know if anybody's ever, the only thing that worries me about going to one of the generation ships,
Deployed.
is that it might be slightly spoilery, I suppose, if you've never been there before. But if you've not done them, some of them in particular, each one's generally got a story associated with it. Okay, I still lost a ring of shields then, and I don't, oh, half a, I don't think I should, but I suppose it would be too easy, really, wouldn't it? Yeah, they've all got some sort of story associated with them. I think in the grand scheme of things, I think you could probably look at the. Thank you, Doggish Earth. I think you could probably look at the generation ship thing in the grand scheme of human endeavours, perhaps, and suggest that it wasn't probably the brightest thing we ever did as a species, and we are a species, I would suggest, who are quite good at being stupid. So I suppose in that regard it was quite successful. Okay, this will be interesting because it's an annoying little ship, and he's got a friend.
Under attack.
So yeah, if you've not been to any of the generation ships, generally speaking, when you download the logs, it's the story of how it all went horribly wrong and how everybody died terribly.
Shields offline.
Usually in bizarre circumstances. In essence, that's what they said. It seems to be their main focus. I'm sure the program must have gone right somewhere along the line. Ree would have liked that one because it was close to the ship. I'm sure it probably went right for some of them somewhere along the line, and maybe we'll see evidence of that later on. All these Earth-like worlds that we currently can't land on. But of the that's a very close, very big rock. Of all the generation ships that are sort of visitable at the moment, they're obviously still out in space.
Shields offline.
Yeah, those ones didn't go quite so well. Honestly, they're generally quite unpleasant. Some of them are quite scary as well.
Target destroyed.
With the stuff that happened, sometimes you can hear the stuff that happened as well in the logs. I wonder what happens with a situation like that. It's very much a video game trope, isn't it, that everybody sort of ignores. Something dreadful's happening. Something absolutely dreadful is happening. I must record it and then put it in a log and then distribute those logs around the building. I won't put them all in one place or easily findable. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute them all over the building in lots of different places that are quite hard to find. And that way I'll be able to tell my story long after I'm gone. Said no one ever. Ah, is it lagging? Are you getting horrendous lag? Is that what's going on? Unless the... Hang on a second. I'm going to have to... Hang on, let me just get out of here and I'll go and look at what's going on. Are you getting... I'll tell you what the problem is. Wafting in and out of sync. So is my voice kind of occasionally... Okay, so it's my voice is kind of getting out of sync with the camera. I know exactly what the problem is there, and We know what we need to do to sort it, but trying to get it sorted at the moment is a bleeding nightmare. So basically, I'm running a an old mobile, not an old mobile phone, but it's a mobile phone that's like a year or two old, as a webcam. And we can't get a webcam for love. Well, I was going to say love nor money. We can get a webcam for a colossal amount of money, but it's the kind of money that you wouldn't pay for a webcam. Honestly, at the moment, they're quite difficult to get hold of because of the COVID thing, which is annoying to say the least. Is it something you can put up with, people? Will you be okay for the moment? We are trying to get hold of a webcam. We will clearly have to try harder. It's a shame because it basically works, but as soon as you start doing anything remotely complicated, do you know what might not be helping? I think Ree is talking to her mum on Zoom. I think that might not be helping. I can't even drop her a note and tell her to stop, really. We might have to do something about that next week. Yeah, Matt, it's a pain in the bum, isn't it? It really is. Honestly, you'd think they were made of platinum, or that someone was trying to profiteer from them, God forbid. Oh, so you're of the chaff variety, are you?
Under attack.
That's unpleasant. Let me help you with that. You and your ugly friends. Yeah, it's ridiculous, the situation with webcams at the moment. It's really infuriating.
Impulse attack.
But the problem, we could get a rubbish one, not pay much, and get it delivered tomorrow. But that would be a bit of a chocolate teapot, and would kind of put us in a similar situation to where we are now, but with a different problem. And I don't want to get a rubbish one. I want to get a decent C920 or something. So there's your nasty little friends. So that's the problem, really. I can get hold of a webcam really easily. What I can't get hold of is a decent webcam for under £1 million, apparently, which is infuriating. Never mind. So I did some work on the. It won't be immediately obvious, but I did some work on the stream interface this week. I don't know if I'll be able to do anything with it yet. I might give it a test later on, actually. If you people are feeling adventurous, I might give it a quick test. I've basically, really simple thing, but I think I've set up the ability to play videos and play whatever video I want, whenever I want. I've just got to sort of add it to a playlist. And then in theory, it should appear on your screen. And being as we're an outfit that produces videos, you can see where that might be useful. Yeah, I'm not liking the way my shields have disappeared far too quickly. That's annoying. Oh well. Oh, there's another one of those. So yeah, I might give that a try later on. I'm just trying to think, what video can I play that I've got handy? Okay, that went a bit better. That I can just put on stream real quick, and we can just see if it works. Would that be alright? Do you mind if I experiment on you like that? So I know the favoured weapon of choice for most people when it comes to big combat ships is not the Anaconda. I get that, and I understand why, because I have a Corvette and it is significantly more manoeuvrable than this complete creature. However, let me just explain why. There are two reasons, primarily I suppose, that I'm not in a Corvette. Three reasons. Amongst the reasons that I'm not in a Corvette are such diverse elements as the aforementioned engineering problem, because it would involve a huge amount of work that I just don't have time for to get the Corvette up and running again. And I'm kind of, and I know it's the wrong attitude to come, but I'm kind of fond of this one. And it's almost, I don't know,
Target destroyed.
It's almost my ship. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like if I'm in combat, generally speaking. The minor exceptions of that was last night, but if I'm in combat, generally speaking, I'm in this one. It's the wobbly rocket. And I quite like that. But it might not be, you know, it might not be the most efficient ship. Definitely, well, there's no might about it. It's definitely not the most efficient ship. But I kind of like it. I kind of like that about it. I like having to deal with its foibles, and whereas the Corvette always feels too like it's too manoeuvrable. Do you know what I mean? It's like for a ship of its size. Hello, Bagfather. You're right, Spike. It's too manoeuvrable for a ship of its size,
Frameshift drive
in my
charging.
humble opinion. If it flies too much like a fighter, is that just
4,
me?
3, 2, 1. Engage.
Rail slugs, is that what that was, JT? Okay. Let's give it a bit of that. Right, I'm going to go to there and pick up that.
Frameshift drive charging.
Also, I don't tend to concentrate. Hello, Bagfather, you're right. Good, 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 mate. Good. Back to the mud. I know, right? I know it's difficult, isn't it? You know, screw what's best. It's what you have fun with at the end of the day, isn't it? You know, I mean, if I was to, I mean, the one of the other reasons that I'm not sort of sat in a Corvette is, you know, I don't like them particularly anyway. And if I had the time in my diary where I was going to engineer a big ship again, honestly, it would be a T10 because A, it's worse. I like B10. B10s. I like T10s.
Fuel scoop
Um,
disengaged.
I really like the big slab of ship that's covered in turrets and, you know, turns really, really slowly, but then goes. The whole kind of like, you know, the size of a football field, but can flip it around like a fighter thing just doesn't appeal to me. Swap turrets for gimbals and stuff dies faster. In theory, yes, but well, yes and no, Yags. I'm not convinced that would be the case in this ship, to be honest, because it takes so long to turn round. But I think it might be a case of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Because when I've got, although the turrets might put out more, gimbals will put out more damage. The turrets on this one will be on target almost straight away. While I try and bring the nose round. But you know, let's be honest, I don't do any of my engineering for efficiency or for or you know, whatever the current meta is. To be honest, I do it because I think it sounds fun, and that's that's always going to be like that. Placid, I agree completely. I don't. Yeah, I like the T10, and I think it's fairly impossible to film the T10 and have it look bad. But I don't like the great big spoiler. That said, I did buy the ship kit and just put all the other spoilers on it as well, just because, what the hell, you know, own it. So I have got a T10. It's my Thargoid scout plapping ship, and it's very, very good at that, I have to say. Do it for the memes, says Phil. Yeah, Matt. It would be good for that actually. It would make a good support ship. You're not wrong. Yeah, Nick, it's like piloting a space tank. Certainly is. Okay, Eagle. Real-life corvettes are small and nimble warships, so assume that's the direction FDev wanted with the Federal Corvette. I think it. I don't know. I know what you're saying. It still feels too big, but then I suppose the size is such a difficult thing to gauge in Elite anyway, isn't it? I really hope Odyssey does something about that. I really do. Hello, Phoenix. You all right, mate? Oh, that's brilliant, Barry. That's really good. If you can do that. So Barry's just saying he fully engineered his Corvette with all his blueprints for it, even left dock. So you never got the rubbish version while you went around filling everything in. So that's pretty good. That's really good. Do you remember? I remember. You know when for those of you who were here when Multicrew first launched, right? I remember getting. I mean, let's just get past the bugs that are in Multicrew already. That's an entirely different story, right? But I remember thinking when they sort of talked about people coming into your ship and then jumping into a turret. Hands up in the chat now if when you heard that or when you thought of that, you thought, oh my God, Star Wars moment, and it's going to be boom, 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 like that. And then when you saw how they actually did it, which I'm sure is very clever, but drama, were you disappointed? I was. I was bitterly disappointed. Yes, Phoenix. Yes, we have. Didn't like it. Long story short, didn't like it. Didn't like the way they operate. I feel much more comfortable with this. Every time somebody subscribed on Twitch, I went, ugh, and I didn't like it. So we switched. Yeah, so the drama thing with like I really wanted I wanted the multi-crew turret experience to be a bit more World War II and a lot less 3306, honestly. Don't you think? Am I wrong there? I just think it completely. I mean, who honestly? And forget. I mean, is it effective? Has anybody actually ever, with any regularity, other than to just try it, has anybody actually jumped into a turret and and has anybody actually done that with any regularity? Because I know I haven't. And bearing in mind, I've got like another player here regularly, and we're always in multi-crew for other reasons. Ria's never had any particular desire to jump into one of my turrets. Hello, Dowie Murdoch. Thank you very much for the sub, mate. Welcome. Has never had any particular desire to jump into the turrets and man the guns, so to speak. Although she has recently discovered a love of violence. So, in-game, I should hasten to add. What have I done with my ASP? Have I left it somewhere? No, there it is. I've got a cargo hold full of nonsense is what's causing that. Do you know what I mean about is it just me? The turret thing? I was so disappointed. I really want, like the ship launched fighter thing. Forget the, like I say, forget the bugs with multi-crew. That's a different issue altogether. But the ship launched fighter experience is great. You spawn in a hangar, it tips down like that. You get that HUD thing going boom, 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 and then you get catapulted. I mean, that is amazing. They absolutely nailed it. That is drama right there. And then you go out and do your ship thing, and then when you want to get back in the ship, you've got to line up and drive into the dock, and then you get lifted up and the doors close. And that's amazing. That's absolutely the way it should have gone. It was brilliant. But the turret thing was just like, oh, what really? You're outside the ship and you can kind of spin around. I'm sure it's very clever and everything, but it just has no drama to it. You don't feel like you're suddenly detached, as what Yamix would call immersion. You're suddenly detached from the experience, and it's not very visceral, and there's no kind of you're not kind of in it anymore, if you know what I mean. Right, I'm taking off, and I don't know where we're going, so that's good. So let me just get you something vaguely interesting to stare at, and then we'll have a look at where we're supposed to be going. So, please excuse the side of my head for just 1 second. Thetis, generation. I don't know how far away this thing is, so it might be too far. Nefertem is where we're going. Well, let's go and have a look, see how far away that is. Otherwise, we'll go and looking for the refugees. That doesn't look very far at all. 130 light years. We're going to see a generation ship. Now I know I have been to this one before at some point in my distant murky past. I will grab the logs when we get here and let you have a listen to them. If you're sensitive for spoilers at that point, maybe look away. Phil Barnes, like a World War II tail gunner, absolutely.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Alec, we've changed channels, mate. I suspect is how. If I miss any notifications and stuff, people, by the way, I'm really sorry. For some reason, OBS and YouTube don't talk nice to each other as much as Twitch and OBS do. So the feed of events that I get is hilariously bad. So I apologise for that. If I catch you subbing and stuff, then I will hoik you a thank you. And if you've subbed and I've missed it, I will hoik you a thank you right now. Hello Nexio, you're right, mate. Simon, Battlestar launch, absolutely. That's definitely where they were influenced, right? And as such, absolutely nailed it. It's beautiful. I love it. I think it's so well done. Yeah, Eagle. It feels more like a third-person shooter than a space sim. Yeah, and and it's just not Elite. I wonder if they'll change it.
4, 3, 2.
Simon, never tried it. Seemed like a bad idea to start with. It's really complicated as well, Simon. This is the thing that's it's quite elite in that regard. In that you jump into someone else's ship, you think, right, I want to be a turret gunner, and it's just trying to work out how to do it. I can't even. I know Ree and I tried it once. We managed to get it working in the end, but it's way more complicated than it should be. Hello, Popper Zoo. You're right, mate. Yeah, it's way more complicated than it should be. It's like, why am I having to think about this? Surely I should just have an interface jump up that says jump into turret 4 or jump into turret 1 or something, and it doesn't do that. And I can't remember how it is you get into it now, but it's agony. It's really, really, really clunky. So Phoenix, have you tried with any seriousness? Have you tried the turret gunner thing, and are they more efficient? Same question to you, Blind Derby, as well. That like, as far as the turrets are concerned, are they more efficient when you've got a human being in there as opposed to the AI sort of flailing around? Does it work better? That would have to be the reason for it, right? I mean, surely that's the only reason to do it. Right, apparently I want planet 6A. What a ring. Oh, 6. That one there. Because it's the only one with an A. So, as I said previously, this is fair warning, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting into slightly spoiler territory if you've not been, seen and heard this. They're much more efficient, are they, JT? Okay. Maybe we should give it a go. They won't be affected by chaff, that's very true. Hit more often with a good gunner. Okay. Maybe we should give it a go. Give it a proper go. I really would love a honestly, if I had the time and the materials right now, I would engineer the Conkers out of a T10 and turret the hell out of that bad boy. I'd love that. That'd be brilliant. But it's a shame, again, for such a big ship. What am I about to spoil, Liam? We're going to go and visit a generation ship, and I'm going to grab that one there. In fact, the Thetis. I'm going to grab the logs from it. Yeah, we'll let that do that. I'm going to grab the logs from it and play them now. So it's fairly old content at this point. So, but you know, I understand completely that some people might not have heard it and would rather experience it from themselves. So if you've not done it, Halloween is a great time to do it. Any of them are fairly. They're all fairly creepy, to be honest. But this is one of the creepier ones. Hey Wayne, how are you, mate? You right? Has anybody not been to a generation ship before? I've got no concept of how popular these things are. They're a weird bit of very elite style content in so much as there isn't really much of a point for them to exist other than they exist. Van's asking if anyone else is having issues on PS4. What sort of problems are you having, Van? Amazing when you have a crew member in an SLF and a crewmate on guns whilst you fly and operate some fixed weapons, particularly in a combat zone. I really need to give this a go, don't I, Orange? Wayne, excellent. More than happy to, mate. Yaga, you've not been to any of them. That's amazing. Liam, you've not been to any of them? Phoenix, you only saw the Galconda 2 days ago. Leo, never been to one? Wow, okay, guys. You know, I say spoilery, you know, it'll only spoil this one. Scott's never been to one? Brilliant. All right, it will spoil this one, you know. But they've all got their own story to tell. They're all freezes every few seconds like an old skipping CD. Oh, Wumps is saying Keen and him have tried turrets a few times. Figuring it out was a real pain, yeah, completely. Yeah, Dragonheart. I think I've been to the Phobos one as well. Isn't that one of the creepier ones as well? Here we go, generation ship. I'll put the so there you go. That's what that one looks like anyway. In the original Elite, these things were mentioned. They're huge, by the way. They were mentioned in the book that came with the game, and I spent more time than was healthy looking for them. But they weren't actually in the game. It turns out, Braben admitted years later. He never stated that they were in the game. He just said that they were. You know, it was in the book that came with the game that they were a thing that existed. So they're in and of themselves, they're quite a creepy thing anyway. And the idea behind them is there was there are some stats, and if you look on like the Elite Wiki or something like that, you can find some lore about the generation ship program itself. Essentially, I think thousands of these things were sent out into the galaxy was the point behind it to sort of, this is before the era of frameshift drives, in order to try and colonize. And some of them I think were successful, but an awful lot of them weren't. So if you ping them like that, you should then get, he says, and can't now see them, you should get logs that you can download. There we go. So if I grab them in order, and I don't know that all of them are audio logs, but I happen to know that this one is A, audio logs, and B, particularly well done. So we'll grab that. Where's the next one? Where's the next one? There it is. Of course it's down there. So having made that log and left it there, they then ran down the other end of the ship, which is a good couple of kilometers. Thought, I'm going to leave this one down the arse end. Why are you doing that, Kevin? Because I'm an awkward bleeder. That's why. Hundreds of years from now, someone's going to come and try and listen to this, and I'm not going to make it easy or enjoyable. Now, pass me that screwdriver because I'm going to push it into your neck. You'll understand why I made that reference in a second. Oh. Come on. There we go. What's that? Number 2. Number 3 is over there. Oh, look, it's at the other end of the ship. Well, I never. What a surprise. If it was all in one place, it would just be. I get it. I understand. But, it does take. People who don't play video games will just think, well, why on earth did they do that? Because video games, that's why. Just go with it. It's fine. People in video games do things like that. If you think this is bad, you should try BioShock. What's a BioShock? Never mind. Here we go. What do you think? In some point during Odyssey, and I don't by any stretch of the imagination mean at the start, because I don't think that's going to happen at all, but at some point during the Odyssey cycle, Is it just 4? Is that it? Is it at some point during the Odyssey cycle? I bet you anything in the world we're going to be able to go aboard some of these things and probably find more logs and materials and other stuff. Can you imagine? After you've had a listen to this one, can you imagine cutting your way into this ship and then moving through it with a bunch of mates? Just try and get that in your brain. So I'll play this to you in a second, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see if I can do something clever and queue this up properly. I can do a thing, can't I? Oh hell, where are they? They're not here, are they? They're gonna be. Are they? Oh, are they gonna be? Is that them? I just saw discovered logs. Where's that? No, that was the 13th of October. Oh, is it going to be in my? This is going to be because I've picked them up before, so it's going to be in my codex, isn't it? Is that right? Wayne, it's interesting that you say that. Zombie virus indeed. Where's it going to be? Generation ships. There we go. Okay, where the hell is it? Madness and Ghosts. That's it. That's the one. This, I believe, is the Thetis. I could well be spectacularly wrong, but if it isn't this one, this will do. I'm sure this is it. Yeah. Should probably do them in order, shouldn't I? Because I'm not stupid. Okay, so let's add that to the playlist, and then that to the playlist, and then that to the playlist, and that to the playlist, that to the playlist. Right, brace yourself, kids. So where's the playlist? Here we go.
Still all quiet out here in the black. Just had our very first 9th gen child born on ship. That takes the current population to 17,401. Other than that, nothing out of the ordinary. Apart from reports from some residents at the northern end of C deck. They've heard some kind of strange whispering sound coming from their apartment comms unit. I'm sure it's nothing, but I've dispatched a member of tech to investigate.
Just confirm you can hear this all right.
We have an emergency situation on board. Some kind of epidemic. It's driving people insane. I've managed to source it to a digital signal that keeps broadcasting within the comms array. It started on C deck, but now the entire population of Deck C to F have been massacred. They just went crazy and started killing each other. I've isolated the signal, so it's stopped for now. Just trying to identify the source. It should be easy enough to delete the beacon if I can find the right frequency. I want to know what the message says, but I'm just too scared to listen.
Thanks, Tywin.
I've done it. I've managed to decrypt the signal and identify the source. But it's even more confusing than I thought. The signal originates from an uninhabited planet we passed 15 light years ago. Who sent it and how it managed to infect the comms array, I have no idea. That's the good news. The bad news is I heard the message. I was trying to run it through the translator and I forgot the speaker was on. It's the same message relayed again and again and again. It's more a whisper than anything else. It says, kill them all. Blood. Blood everywhere. It's spread on the walls. People have started writing words in it, but it's a script I can't identify. I'm alone now on the comms deck. Pearson was the last one with me, but I had to stab him in the throat to stop him. stop him. I can't remember what I had to stop him doing, but he's dead now. I can hear people out there. Some of them are still walking around. Some of them are barely breathing. I have to find them. I have to silence them. I have to...
There we go.
Still all quiet out.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm done. That's good. That was good, wasn't it? It's quite unpleasant. So suffice to say, of the generation ships that I've been to so far, I haven't managed to find a single one of them that's a comedy. Yeah, Liam, holy F indeed. Yeah, they're all that's brilliant. If people didn't know this kind of thing exists, this kind of thing exists. I don't know how many generation ships there are. There's quite a few. And generally speaking, they've all got something like that going on in one regard or another. And also like the ground installations. The ground installations, a lot of those have got audio logs and stuff like that. So if you haven't picked up the audio logs from some of the ground installations, then go and do that as well, because they've always got interesting stuff to tell as well. The generation ships, though, I think are particularly bad. Well, Reaper's Breath, interestingly, it was 15 light years, I believe. 15 light years back, because these ships didn't have much of a range on them at all. So we could actually have a look and see where there is. Oh, hello. So there's that one. I would say, yeah, I mean, it's going to be these ones. What's Amun? Isn't that that's an Egyptian thing, isn't it? Hang on, let's look in the log, because it'll be written down, won't it? Yeah, so I'm in reality, I'm actually sitting in quite a small room that's very dark, all alone at the moment, so that's good. Luckily, I'm not the nervous type. He lied. Here we go. Right. Where did she say about the signal? Okay, the signal originates from an uninhabited planet we passed 15 light years ago. But that's all it says. And then there's the quite unpleasant bit at the end, which is that one. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can see that. I'm sure some people have investigated Reaper's Breath. I can't believe... Okay, Ammon was an Egyptian god, wasn't he? Was Egyptian god of what? Because that might be interesting. That could be. Nefertem, isn't that Egyptian as well? Oh, hello. Right, Nefertiti, I happen to know, was Egyptian. Amun was Egyptian. So surely that's a link. I'm sure. I can't believe people haven't investigated this, but I'm not aware of it if they have. But so look at that. That's the horrible whispery stab everyone noise. Those O's in the middle there are zeros, and that looks like coordinates rather than yeah, rather than just random numbers, because there's a dot in between. I don't know. I could be reading too much into it, but com low 000 KLHM possibly. So we go and have a look. So what was, if Ammon was a Egyptian god, what was Ammon? It was Ammon Ra, wasn't it? That was the Egyptian sun god. Ammon, egg whipped. Ammon, is the ancient Egyptian god of the sun and air. Yes, that's Ammon Ra then, isn't it? And what was Thetis is the goddess of the sea, but that's okay, that appears to be a Greek thing. And Nefer, there's Nefertiti, Nefertum, ancient Egyptian deity. So that's got to be a link, isn't it? Ammon and Nefertum, surely. The sun and what's Nefertum? Nefertum, beautiful one who closes or one who does not close. Was in Egyptian mythology originally a lotus flower at the creation of the world, who had arisen from the primal waters. Nefertum, he was beautiful, water lily of the sun. It's also mentioned in the Book of the Dead. Okay, rise like Nefertum from the blue water lily to the nostrils of Ra, the creator and sun god. Is that something? Okay, so we've already mentioned. Okay, it's got to be Ammon Ra then, isn't it? It's got to be Ammon. Should we go and have a look? Uninhabited planet in Ammon. What are you up for it, people? Are we going? We're going full tin foil. Yeah, it's got to be Ammon, isn't it? Surely, it's got to be. If anybody wants to look up any of these places and just see if they've got anything that's even remotely Egyptian-y, but I can't believe it isn't. It isn't that. Let's go and have a look at that. Okay, what have you got there, Eagle? Are you sure you want to leave YouTube? Not really. No, that's not what I want to do at all. Go to site. Nope. It is not loading. Redneck's up for it. He's got his hat on. Let's do this. I'm sure we almost certainly won't get killed and or haunted. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not overly confident, if I'm being brutally honest. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. We'll be good. We'll be good. How bad can it actually be? Quite bad, Burr, is how it can actually be, if I'm being brutally honest. I can't believe anybody in Elite hasn't looked this up already, surely. This has got to be... Someone must have done this already. Uninhabited world, it said. That doesn't necessarily mean it's landable either, so we might get there and go. It'd be interesting if we get there and there's an Earthlight though, wouldn't it? Okay, Eagle, that's the research they did into Thetis. So I take it someone's been down this particular blind alley already.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Redneck. Okay. What have we got? Okay, well if there's something here, it's haunting the hell out of everyone already. That doesn't really give us a lot to go on, does it? There's an awful lot of stuff here. Ammon A3. Anything look terribly suspicious, people? I mean, that's the one that's furthest away from everything. If you were going to put something, I can't believe no one would have looked though. What do we think, people? Where should we go?
Fuel scooping.
That's a great theory, Matt.
Fuel
I don't for one moment think that's possible. I'm going to say I don't think that's possible. I'm now sitting here really worried. Nervous laugh. 4,000 ship and one holds the secret to Raxler. Okay. See, I want to say it would be, do you know what I mean? If it was going to be somewhere, surely it would be that one, like the one that the sort of very last planet and the last star in the system. But I suppose it could be anywhere, really, couldn't it? So where should we look, do we think? I hate this scanner. Have we ever had that conversation? I absolutely hate it. High metal content. I don't really know what I'm looking for. What am I looking for, do we think? Okay, do we think it would be a base with something already on it? Should we have a look, Redneck, and see what else we've got? Okay, let's have a look and see what we've got in that regard then. So of the landables, let's be systematic. Let's go to that one then. But these are just regular Joe installations, aren't they? Madness and Ghosts. As much as I don't want to look at it, let's look at that one again. CMMLO. That's quite unpleasant, isn't it? That's really, really unpleasant. Landable with no base, do you reckon? Okay. Okay, there's a landable with no base. Another one there, another one there, another one there, and two more there. Dunno. Let's go try it. Let's go and look at that one at least. So did any of you guys, did you guys have no idea? You people who haven't been to a generation ship before, did you have no idea that it did that? Kill them all as a sequel. Loop of shame. Did you guys have no idea that they did stuff like that? Is that news to you then? Matt says it sounds okay. You're welcome to come over and have a look then. It says drink more coffee. It's Yagashura trying to convert the world. Some of the ground installations as well. If you think about, I mean, that could well happen with Odyssey. I don't see why not. Some of the ground installations that we've already got access to that have got logs that you can go and listen to now, it's entirely possible, and I would suggest perhaps likely that once Odyssey launches, you'll be able to land at those bases and go inside. Surely. There's nothing interesting happening here, is there? Someone would have found it already. That wasn't efficient, I know. We're not here for the efficient. We are here for the quick, however. Okay, that'll do it.
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, I would think it entirely possible. Have a good one, Eagle. Hope it goes all right, mate. I would think it entirely possible that with the launch of Odyssey, we could be going to places like Dav's Hope and going inside, surely. It would be, you know, a little bit odd, maybe, if we went to these installations and... Yeah, sorry, Thorns. Yeah, I've not got round to the engineering on this one. If you were here for the early part of the stream, you would have heard me ranting about engineering. It is kind of on my list, actually. Wayne, you think it'll be a signal source? So you think I'd pick something up on the surface, or do you think it will be a source in space? Because the log mentioned it was on a planet, didn't it? It said it was an uninhabited world. There's none of the worlds that are capable of habitation, are they really? I suppose it depends on. There's no Earth-likes, but it depends on the thing that's doing the habiting, doesn't it? Really. Don't be bitter, Phil. Don't be bitter about the hunt for Raxler, mate. I would have said at this point we're probably closer than we've ever been to finding something out about Raxler. Do we not think? I understand why smacking your head against the galaxy for the last 7 years might be a bit frustrating, though. I think we're probably closer now to finding something out about Raxler than we've ever been at any point in the past. Thanks to the Turning the Wheel initiative. I haven't caught up with them recently, actually. I don't know what they're doing now. I don't know where they're at now. They were on the border of Lave last I heard, but I think if I'm not seeing a signal source on the planet, move on. Okay, mate. Yeah, not losing faith. I completely agree, Phil. I think I absolutely agree in a lot of regards. Do you know what I mean? And I don't, no disrespect intended to Frontier whatsoever. I think Elite up until this point has been probably quite a challenging road for them. I'm kind of hoping that Odyssey is going to be somewhat of a reboot to a degree. It would be nice. We were having this discussion. It's a discussion that happens in this house quite a lot, as you can imagine, to be honest. But we were having this discussion around the breakfast table this morning. That we're sort of wondering if a lot of the bugs and everything that are in the game at the moment are kind of they're not fixing them now because there's no point fixing them at the moment because we're so close to Odyssey. But they'll be fixed come Odyssey, maybe. Missed Lave, ended up in Ark. Okay, trying again for Lave soon. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting, the whole Raxler hunt thing. I have to say, LFT until LFT 509's off the radar. It is 509, isn't it? Until LFT 509's off the radar, I won't be convinced that not Raxler, but whatever it is we're looking for, I think is there. Until that's off the board, I won't be happy. Personally, there might be something at in Lave or something that would point to it, maybe. But I think LFT 509 is the thing we're looking for. But Jack Golding, I've joined late. What have I missed about Raxler? I live in a tinfoil house. We were just having a little discussion, Jack, about Raxler in general and how at the moment we're probably closer to finding out something about it at this point in Elite's history than we ever have been at any point in the past. Quiz Engine, I believe, I absolutely agree with you. I think the Dark Wheel Station is in LFT 509. The reason we ended up on the tinfoil path, Jack, is because of this. There we go. As much as I don't want to play this noise again. That's enough of that. I can't stand that anymore. That came from a generation ship called the Thetis, which mentions picking up that signal from a star system about 15 light years away from where it ended up. And the reason it ended up in that star system is because everybody killed themselves after they heard that signal. Or everybody killed everybody else after they heard that signal. So we're now in the system that we think is probably linked to it, doing a very lightweight cursory look to see if there's anything here. But I'm almost positive that this road has been very heavily tread before we got here and that there isn't anything to find. But what the hell? It's worth a look, right? You never know. I'll tell you right now, if we find something and there's a signal on this planet that no one else has ever seen before, I'm not going to land until one of you gets here. Okay? Good. There is absolutely no way, if we find something, there is absolutely no way I'm going down there until someone else gets here. Here we go, right. Oh.
Surface scanned by 50%.
Please be nothing, please be nothing, please be nothing.
Surface
It's not
scan
going to be anything, is it?
complete.
There we go, nothing. So yeah, does anybody fancy coming here and picking up the... How old is that signal? Maybe farther than 15 light years? Well, the log said 15 light years. I can never work out, Golm. I can never work out with the club whether they found Raxler or whether they're trying to find Raxler. Definitely not Yagashura, no, never. Whether they found Raxler, whether they're trying to find Raxler, or whether they're just trying to stop everyone else from finding Raxler. I suspect a little bit from all of those, maybe. I don't know. Have we got any idea where these Imperial megaships are running to? By the way, has it been on Galnet? He says jumping subjects. Let's have a quick look.
Marlinist refugees flee to the Federation. The Empire has formally demanded that the Federation extradites all Marlinist political refugees that have fled into their space. Hundreds of thousands of believers in the Republican ideology evacuated their homes following anti-terrorism lockdowns. The Imperial blockade in Aquada prevented 10 megaships from escaping, but others carrying huge numbers of Marlinists have appeared in the Federal System's chat Endare, Ened, HIP 36081, LTT 1935,
Hello, XTA80, how are you, mate?
LTT 3607, and 30.
Welcome to the stream. I'm
Many
going to leave
smaller
Ammon
vessels
on
are
this
also
fool's
thought to
errand,
have
quite
spread
frankly.
far and wide. Imperial Ambassador Imogen Luciana sent the formal request. The Federation is harboring
I did,
potential
Phil, yes.
criminals.
I think it went live a couple of hours before we came on stream, but yeah, I saw it appear just before we
to the NMLA terrorists. We insist that they...
I saw it a few minutes before we came online. How long ago was that log made, Wayne? I don't know, mate. A few hundred years it's going to be. Hang on. I don't know if it's dated or not. Let me just check. Did anybody notice if it was dated?
Fuel scooping.
I'm not going to listen to that god-awful noise again. Codex. I'm simply not that brave. Generation shit.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Madness and ghosts. Madness and ghosts. What does that mean? Comms log 905234. No. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't have a date on it as such. Unless is that a date? I don't know. Comms log 905234. That sounds like it should be preceded by Captain's log. Stardate 8123.2.
Frameshift drive charging.
The new CG, Redneck, I believe there's two CGs in actual fact. One is protecting trade convoys, and the other one is being the trade convoy for the Marlinist refugees that are running to Federation star systems, I believe. I think that's a very, very dreadful, awful, probably hilariously inaccurate précis. But I think that's basically it. So there's a trade thing going on, and and a protect the trade thing. Wow. Oh wow, here we go. I want to say Liberty's Horizons one. I'm sure I heard that. Didn't Zoffy mention that this morning? He said to no one in particular. Whoever that was just something. I'm really sorry I missed it. I heard it, but I didn't hello it. So hello, whoever you were. I'm really sorry about that. I might better catch it on my copy of the stream here. Hang on a second. Nope. Is it there? And now I'm trying to keep an eye on two screens at once, which means I've loop of shamed. As I explained earlier in the stream, people, I'm really sorry. My logs and stuff for events, for reasons best known to YouTube and OBS, are not working properly. Jack Golding is definitely one of them. Are not working quite right at the moment, so I've not got a running total of people subbing. So my apologies if I miss it. But thank you, whoever you are. Who's Captain Slog? Pretty world. So I think this is one of the refugee ships. I think. Yeah, there's no details, but so it's kind of cute. You remember in the sort of the days of Galnet when it would talk about stuff and then it wouldn't appear in the game, and you know, if you'd even go to the system it was talking about and it wasn't there, and it had absolutely no impact on anything else that was going on. And I know plenty of people liked that stuff and got great flavour from it, and that's okay. I get that. I found it a bit frustrating. It's quite nice these days, and this is a graphic demonstration of that. It's quite nice these days that Frontier have sort of made an undertaking to ensure that whatever is talked about on Galnet is in the game in some regard. That was the wrong scanner. You're welcome. And so this is one of the refugee megaships, I believe. Full of Marlinists. Which is kind of cute, isn't it? We quite like that, don't we? I really like that. Yeah, Phil. It used to drive me nuts. Rhea and I went to, I can't remember what there was a starport once that had been hijacked, if you see what I mean. It had been taken over by terrorists and they were threatening to blow it up. And Rhea and I sort of dashed over there to see what was going on, try and get some footage of whatever was going on. And there was nothing. And it was
Flight assist off.
Basically just behaving like a normal starport.
Flight assist on.
Which kind of, you know, used to drive me mad. But I understand, you know, I get that it's all very well me sort of sitting here going, if they talk about it in Galnet, it needs to be in game. You know, there's a cost to that, a real money cost to that kind of thing. So I understand why they didn't do it and why it wasn't in there. But hello, the Ancient 81.
Flight assist on.
Welcome to the stream, mate. Thank you very much for the sub. So there we go. This is one of the, I believe, one of the escaping. But you know, it's not like loads of flavor text or anything like that. It's not like, you masses of ships swarming around it, and it's not hugely exciting, but it's a thing that's mentioned in Galnet, and it is here in game. It is actually a thing that is happening in the game. There's at least one here. I think there's others as well, aren't there? That's a prison. Health service, that's convenient. Blue Willow Hospice, that's got a slightly darker edge to it. There's a Federation capital ship. Busy system. Tanker. Nice, there we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. So far on today's stream, we've found a mega ship, been to a generation a generation ship, had the living bejesus scared out of me. And, oh, and we also did a little bit of combat that was mildly successful, so there we go. I'm calling that a win. Where are we? Time rise. Right then, I've got to go and get on with life and stuff now, rather tediously. People, thank you very much once again for joining me on this ridiculous stream. Sadi, thanks for the sub, mate. Welcome. You're just here, just in time for the end. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Really appreciate it. I hope the camera laggy problem, which I've just noticed, has frozen, so that's good. I know exactly why that is. Stupid camera. I wonder how long that's been dead. Really sorry about that, people. We were doing everything we can to get the camera fixed. It's annoying the hell out of me as much as it probably is you. I hope the rest of your day goes well. Keep an eye on Galnet and keep an eye on the game over the next week or so, because we think there's some sort of Halloween thing coming. We don't know what. Frontier have dropped a couple of hints and haven't said any more about it so far. So, Darth Wham, thank you very much for the sub, mate. Yeah, Frontier have dropped a couple of hints, but we don't know what to expect or when to expect it. But we think there's a Halloween thing coming. So, thank you once again, people. If you don't know us already, which I think is extremely unlikely, the channel you're now watching is not the main Burr Pit. You'll find us over on youtube.com/theburpit, where we do all our regular stuff. Witch-based news is up tomorrow, and we'll try and get some more stuff crowbarred out next week if we can, depending on what happens in the game. Thank you so much. Stay safe, wear a mask, look after each other, and I will see you next week. Have a good one, people.